The metallic hum of the starship reverberated through the cavernous corridors as she moved. Dr. Lara Quinn's boots clicked against the polished alloy floors, each step echoing in the dim light. Ahead, the golden scales of the dragon shimmered faintly in the ambient glow of emergency lights. The dragon's massive body curled around a glowing incubator-like pod, breathing slow, ragged breaths that shook the air like distant thunder. Ilara swallowed, her pulse racing, her hand instinctively reaching for the medical scanner at her belt. This was no ordinary patient. The dragon's eyes, molten pools of amber and fire, fixed on her a mixture of fear, pain, and desperate hope. Her voice trembled, though she tried to steady it. "I can help you," she said, her words deliberate, careful. "Tell me what you need." The dragon lowered her colossal head, her snout brushing against the floor in a gesture of submission. "I cannot survive the birthing cycle alone," the dragon rasped, her voice a deep resonance that vibrated through the walls, the floor, even through Ilara's bones. Ilara felt the weight of the moment settle upon her chest. Here, in the far reaches of the star system where humanity dared to explore but never fully tamed, she was humanity's standard-bearer. A human could not simply flee. A human could not simply fail. With a trembling hand, she approached, her senses confirming the dragon's condition. The unborn clutch pulsed with life and dangerous energy, each heartbeat echoing in sync with her own. The dragon's scales glimmered, golden and molten, and the air carried a faint scent of ozone and fire. Every instinct screamed caution. Every training drilled courage. Ilara took a deep breath and anchored herself to reason and humanity's unique resilience. Humans could not match a dragon in raw power, yet they possessed something far more lethal: intellect, strategy, and unyielding courage. She studied the dragon's condition. The gestation pod embedded in her flesh pulsed irregularly. The birthing energy radiated a danger that could level a human crew in seconds. Yet Ilara did not falter. She began preparations, the medical tools of her species sleek and precise, humming with energy as she calibrated them for alien physiology. The dragon's gaze followed every motion. Pain flickered across her scales. She hissed low, a vibration that rattled the ceiling above. "Stay calm," Ilara whispered. "Focus on breathing. I will handle this." Minutes stretched into eternity. The dragon shivered violently as the birthing energy surged through her veins. Ilara's hands moved over scales with unwavering determination, guided by human ingenuity and intuition. She rerouted energy flows, balanced neural harmonics, and engaged alien physiology stabilizers. Sweat dripped down her brow, but she did not pause. Every touch, every calculation, every decision showcased humanity's ability to adapt in the face of the impossible. A sudden tremor rattled the chamber. The birthing pod surged, energy radiating like miniature supernovas. Ilara felt the hum in her bones, the pull of raw power threatening to tear the walls apart. Still, she persisted. The dragon's roar filled the ship, a sound that shook the windows and vibrated the metal floors. It was not just pain. It was trust. It was desperation. It was hope she placed in the hands of a human. Ilara's mind raced, analyzing every possible outcome. Every error meant death. For the dragon, for the unborn clutch, for herself. Then a small miracle emerged. A golden light flickered from the pod. Tiny scales emerging, fragile but fierce, sparkling with life that resonated with the universe itself. Ilara held her breath, sensing the raw potential, the incredible power of what humanity had just assisted in bringing forth. The dragon shuddered, exhausted, golden scales dulling to a soft, shimmering glow. She lowered her head to Ilara's shoulder, warmth and gratitude radiating in waves that made the very air vibrate. "You have done what no one else could," the dragon said, voice rasping with the last reserves of strength. Ilara's chest heaved. The universe was dangerous, hostile, and alien, but humanity had just proven something extraordinary. Strength without recklessness. Courage without fear of the impossible. Intelligence to navigate chaos. The dragon exhaled, and in that final breath, something remarkable occurred. A small, pulsating crystal slipped from her claw, glowing softly, humming with energy that felt alive. "For you," she whispered. "A gift for your species, a seed of power and trust. Protect it. Grow with it. Ilara took the crystal carefully, her fingers tingling with its energy, her vision blurred, not from fear, but awe. She had just witnessed an ancient power acknowledge humanity, not as weak interlopers, but as worthy, resilient, and brilliant. And somewhere deep in the void, she felt the universe notice. The crystal pulsed in Ilara's palm, warm yet humming with a power that felt alive. She stared at it, captivated, sensing an intelligence, a rhythm that seemed to speak directly to her mind. Her ship's lights flickered in the aftermath of the birthing surge, alarms faintly buzzing as residual energy from the dragon's birth pulse dissipated into the hull. She swallowed hard, feeling the weight of responsibility settle onto her shoulders. This was no ordinary artifact. The golden dragon had entrusted humanity with something extraordinary, a seed of ancient power, a connection to forces older than the first star. Ilara glanced back at the dragon, still curled around her now empty birthing pod, scales dim but soft and radiant like molten gold under moonlight. Her eyes met Ilara's, and in that gaze she saw a trust, a plea, and a promise. "This is only the beginning," the dragon whispered, her voice now faint, resonating like a memory in the bones. Ilara nodded, even alone in the observation deck. She felt the universe shift. The hum of the crystal grew stronger, like a heartbeat echoing in perfect harmony with her own. Then the ship shuddered violently. Red alarm screamed. Something slammed against the hull, a deep vibration that rattled metal and bone alike. Ilara staggered, holding the crystal tightly as the ship's sensors flared to life. External scans revealed a fleet of unknown vessels, angular and menacing, their surfaces dark and alien, yet impossibly advanced. The air seemed to thicken as the alien ships synchronized their approach. Ilara's mind raced. Humans had never faced such speed, such precision. Yet here, she understood the truth. Humans thrived where others relied on brute force. Humans survived where others succumbed to fear. Humans adapted. She activated the ship's tactical interface, her fingers dancing across holographic controls with precision. The alien fleet readied weapons, a terrifying shimmer of energy arcs dancing across the void. And yet, for the first time, Ilara felt an ember of confidence. The dragon's gift pulsed in her palm, and she realized it responded to intent, to creativity, to will. It was not simply a weapon. It was a key, a tool that humanity could shape, bend, and wield unlike any alien civilization could comprehend. She calibrated the crystal, feeling it resonate in tandem with the ship's energy matrix. The alien ships fired. Bright streaks of plasma tore through the darkness, slicing past the ship's shields. Ilara dove into the helm, twisting controls, activating evasive thrusters. Each maneuver was precise. Each calculation, human ingenuity at its finest. The crystal pulsed, almost guiding her movements, warning her of dangers too subtle for sensors to detect. Then, in a daring move, she channeled the crystal's energy into the ship's hull. The metal gleamed, glowing softly as a shimmering shield enveloped the vessel. Plasma bolts impacted the hull, sparks flying, but the energy absorbed them, redirecting the attacks harmlessly into space. Ilara's heart raced. Humans were not just survivors. Humans were improvisers, thinkers, and masters of adaptation. The alien ships hesitated. Something they did not anticipate, the audacity and brilliance of a human mind harnessing a power beyond their comprehension, slowed their assault. She seized the moment. Tapping into the crystal again, she unleashed a wave of concentrated energy. It rippled across the void, a golden pulse that struck the alien vessels. They convulsed under the force, systems overloading, engines stuttering, shields collapsing. And yet, they did not retreat entirely. This was only reconnaissance. Ilara understood. The universe would test humans again, over and over, but humanity would rise, as it always had. The ship's comm system crackled. A voice came through, unfamiliar, distorted by alien frequencies, yet understandable through intuition and experience. "You wield forbidden energy, you are dangerous." Ilara pressed a hand to her chest, feeling her pulse align with the crystal. "I am human," she replied firmly, "and humans do not yield to fear, not to ancient powers, not to impossible odds, not to you." The alien voice paused, almost contemplative. For the first time, she sensed hesitation. Humans had proven their uniqueness. The crystal pulsed stronger, brighter, almost as if it recognized the audacity of her words. Then a sudden jolt threw her against the console. The ship's lights flickered, and a new anomaly appeared on sensors, a spatial tear, rippling like liquid metal, forming the void directly ahead. Through it, she glimpsed vast shapes, colossal creatures, older than stars, feeding on cosmic energy, seemingly aware of the intruding ships. Ilara swallowed hard. Her mind raced. The galaxy was full of wonders and horrors beyond imagining. Yet humans endured. The crystal pulsed in her hands, guiding her, connecting her mind with a new understanding of the universe's architecture. She realized she could manipulate the fabric of space around the ship, bending the ripples of energy to shield herself and even redirect the alien assault. It required focus, creativity, and courage, the core strengths of humanity. Ilara gritted her teeth, channeling the crystal through the ship's systems. The spatial tear flared, energy twisting and folding around the vessel. Alien ships screamed as they were caught in the ripple, systems destabilizing, weapons misfiring. One by one, the invaders were forced to retreat, unable to comprehend the unpredictable adaptability of a human harnessing a force older than galaxies. Ilara exhaled, trembling but exhilarated. Humans had not only survived, they had outsmarted, outmaneuvered, and proven themselves in the eyes of the universe. The crystal pulsed one final time, almost as if acknowledging her triumph. And then silence. The golden glow softened, leaving a warmth in her hand, a reminder of the dragon's gift. Ilara looked toward the observation window, and in the distance, the golden dragon hovered, watching, fading into the nebula like a spirit of trust and legacy. She understood then what the dragon had entrusted her with, not just life, but a covenant. Humans were to stand as beacons, not just survivors, but innovators, protectors, and challengers of the impossible. She held the crystal close, feeling the pulse of generations to come, the promise that humanity's courage and intelligence could echo across the stars. The ship powered down to a steady hum. Ilara sat back, exhausted but resolute. She knew this was only the beginning. The universe was vast, dangerous, and full of alien powers and ancient secrets. Yet humanity had proven something undeniable. Even against impossible odds, even against cosmic horrors older than imagination, even against alien civilizations wielding incomprehensible technology, humans endured, humans adapted, humans conquered, not by raw power alone, but by courage, intellect, and heart. And somewhere deep in the void, Ilara felt the golden dragon's presence, a silent guardian, a witness to the rise of humanity in a universe that had never truly believed in them. She closed her eyes and whispered into the void, into the silence, into the promise of all that was yet to come. We are human, and we will endure. We will rise, and we will thrive. Ilara floated in the observation deck, the crystal still warm in her hands. The void outside shimmered with distant starlight, but she knew the universe had far more than she could see. The alien fleet had retreated, yet their presence lingered like a shadow, a warning of what awaited. She sensed it before the sensors confirmed it. The dragon's gift was more than a shield or weapon. It was a key, unlocking forces that humans had never touched, energies older than civilization itself. Her mind raced as she studied the pulsating crystal. Patterns emerged, intricate sequences of light and resonance, almost like a language written in the very fabric of existence. Her fingers traced the edges, and the warmth seeped into her, filling her with an awareness both terrifying and exhilarating. It whispered of possibilities, of threats, of powers that had shaped galaxies. She could feel the universe itself responding to her presence, nudging her, guiding her, testing her. The ship shuddered suddenly. Ilara's heart leapt. The alien fleet was not gone. They were regrouping, hidden in cloaked dimensions, waiting for a chance to strike. She tapped into the ship's neural interface, letting her mind sync with the crystal's pulse. Energy flowed through her, weaving with the vessel's systems. She saw patterns in the void, currents of gravitational waves, anomalies in space-time, and trails of dark matter that had predators waiting to strike. Humans had never commanded such perception. Yet here, in the edge of the void, Her species' courage and adaptability became a weapon more lethal than any plasma cannon. A warning blared from the ship's sensors. A rift opened ahead, wide as a planet, tearing at reality itself. From its depths emerged shapes, immense, impossible, twisting forms of living energy, their eyes like collapsing stars. Ilara's pulse raced, yet she did not falter. Humans had never known surrender. She activated the crystal, letting its resonance amplify her senses. It was more than power, it was insight. She navigated the ship through the rift, weaving between tidal waves of energy, each turn precise, each calculation a testament to human ingenuity. The cosmic predators surged, following her through the void, but she led them into unstable gravity currents, where their massive forms could not maneuver. They shrieked, a sound that warped the very air, yet they could not comprehend the flexibility and creativity of a human mind. Her breath came in sharp bursts, adrenaline and determination mingling. She realized something remarkable. Humans did not merely react. They innovated, and the crystal responded to her creativity, amplifying her strategies, reshaping reality in small, precise ways. The alien fleet returned, now more cautious, their movements hesitant. They had underestimated humans once. They would not again. Ilara focused, merging ship and crystal into a singular entity. With a thought, she bent the surrounding void, creating a corridor of energy that accelerated her ship while destabilizing enemy formations. A cascade of golden light swept across the void, striking alien vessels, disrupting shields, and leaving them stranded in collapsing space-time. They screamed in confusion, unable to match the ingenuity that a human mind combined with the dragon's gift could produce. Ilara's chest heaved, yet she felt exhilaration rather than fear. This was not mere survival. It was proof. Humans could face the impossible and emerge victorious, not because of raw strength, but because of courage, intelligence, and adaptability. Then, the crystal pulsed violently, alerting her to a new anomaly, a world emerging from the rift, cloaked in shadows, its surface scarred with the remnants of ancient wars. She felt its energy, resonating with the crystal, almost calling her. It was a challenge, a puzzle, and a threat all in one. Ilara adjusted the ship's course, her instincts guiding her. The planet's gravity well pulled at the hull, yet she held steady, using the crystal to stabilize the ship. As she descended, jagged mountains erupted from the surface, glowing veins of energy snaking across the landscape. The air outside the hull shimmered with alien power, dangerous, ancient, and aware. She landed on a plateau overlooking a valley of molten rock and strange crystalline formations, each pulse of energy synchronized with the dragon's gift. Her boots crunched over alien minerals, the air thick with ozone and metallic tang. She could feel the eyes of the planet watching, ancient intelligence probing, testing, challenging her. Ilara raised the crystal, letting its golden light sweep across the terrain. A path open, luminous, and shifting, like the universe itself bending to acknowledge her courage. Then the alien predators emerged, twisting massive, energy-born forms. But she did not hesitate. Humans thrive where others relied on brute force. Humans survive where others yielded to fear. She used the crystal to manipulate the terrain, redirecting rivers of molten energy, creating barriers and channels that trapped and disoriented the creatures. Each step, each maneuver, was a dance of intelligence and courage. The predators hesitated, confused, unable to predict the improvisational brilliance of a human mind in harmony with forces beyond comprehension. Ilara pressed forward, every sense heightened. The valley pulsed, the crystal vibrating with anticipation. She sensed the planet's heart, the source of the ancient energy, calling her closer. And she knew that to survive, to prove humanity's worth, she had confronted directly. Her hands tightened around the crystal, feeling its warmth and power. The predators roared, advancing, but she met them head-on, using strategy and ingenuity rather than brute force. She led them into traps of energy, exploiting weaknesses they did not know they had. The golden light of the crystal reflected off the molten surfaces, creating illusions, diversions, and openings. She moved with purpose, precise, daring, and relentless. Finally, at the center of the valley, she found it, a massive obelisk of crystalline energy, pulsing with raw power, ancient beyond comprehension. The dragon's gift reacted violently, glowing brighter than ever. Elara understood then. This was the final test. The obelisk was a trial, designed to see if a species could harness intellect, courage, and heart to survive where raw power failed. She stepped forward, placing the crystal against the obelisk surface. Energy coursed through her, visions of galaxies, civilizations, and impossible challenges flashing before her eyes. And she endured. She adapted, calculated, and prevailed. The obelisk's energy bowed to her will, resonating with the dragon's gift, acknowledging humanity's brilliance. The predators vanished, retreating into the shadows, defeated not by strength but by ingenuity. Elara fell to her knees, exhausted but triumphant. She had faced the impossible, navigated threats older than stars, and emerged victorious. And in that moment, she understood the truth the dragon had entrusted her with. Humanity was not defined by size, strength, or even technology. It was defined by courage, intelligence, adaptability, and heart. And the universe would take notice. The crystal pulsed once more, soft and steady now, as if to say, "Well done." Elara lifted her gaze to the stars, knowing this was only the beginning. The universe was vast, full of challenges, ancient powers, and alien threats. Yet humans would endure. Humans would rise. Humans would conquer, not through domination, but through brilliance, courage, and the audacity to face the impossible. And somewhere deep in the void, she felt the golden dragon's presence, watching, guiding, and smiling in approval. Elara whispered into the void, a vow to all that was yet to come. "We are human, and we will not merely survive. We will thrive. We will rise." The crystal's light reflected in her eyes, golden, radiant, and eternal. And somewhere in the distance, beyond rifts and alien fleets, she knew the universe would never underestimate humanity again. Elara floated in the observation deck, the crystal's golden light bathing her face, her mind still reeling from the encounter on the alien world. The ship hummed with residual energy, systems recalibrating, shields stabilizing after the intense resonance she had unleashed. The universe felt alive now, not just a void, but a network of possibilities, challenges, and ancient forces that humanity had barely begun to comprehend. She traced her fingers along the crystal's smooth surface, feeling its energy pulse in rhythm with her own heartbeat. It was more than a gift. It was a guide, a key and a test. And somewhere deep in her mind, she knew that the dragon had left it with her not merely as a weapon, but as a responsibility. The ship's sensors flared suddenly, warning lights flashing. A signal appeared on the display. Faint, fragmented, yet unmistakably human in origin. Elara leaned closer, scanning, deciphering. It was a distress call originating from the outer rim of the star system, embedded in a cluster of asteroids that should have been lifeless. She felt a spark of determination. Humans never ignored a call for help. The crystal pulsed more insistently, as if agreeing, guiding her toward the anomaly. The ship's thrusters ignited, cutting through the asteroid field with precision. Rocks of molten metal and crystalline shards slammed past the hull. Yet Elara maneuvered with fluid grace, a symphony of human ingenuity and courage. Ahead, a derelict vessel appeared, massive and scarred, its hull torn by unknown forces, systems sparking erratically. Life signs flickered inside, weak, fragmented, yet unmistakably human. Elara's pulse quickened. This was a test of more than strength. It was a test of empathy, adaptability, and resolve, the very qualities that defined humanity. She docked with the derelict, the airlock groaning as it sealed. Inside, the corridors were dark, twisted with smoke and energy residue. She could hear faint whispers, cries of distress, and the hum of alien machinery scavenging the ship's systems. Her boots clanged against the metal floor, every step deliberate, every sense heightened. The crystal pulse, guiding her through the labyrinthine corridors, alerting her to dangers invisible to sensors. A group of alien scavengers, their forms twisting with energy like liquid metal, emerged from the shadows. Elara's hand hovered over a plasma blaster at her hip, yet she did not fire immediately. Humans did not rely solely on force. She activated the crystal, channeling its energy into the ship's internal systems. The aliens recoiled, their forms distorting as the golden light washed over them, disrupting their cohesion, confusing their senses. Illyra moved like a shadow, precise, calculated, exploiting openings that no other species could perceive. Within minutes, the scavengers were neutralized, incapacitated without a single human casualty. She pressed forward, guided by the crystal's pulse. In the ship's central hub, she found survivors, engineers, pilots, and scientists, trapped behind collapsing bulkheads. Their eyes widened in disbelief as she approached, golden light illuminating the chamber. "Hold on," she said, her voice steady, reassuring. "I've got you." She used a crystal to manipulate the bulkhead's energy matrix, bending it, stabilizing it, and creating a passage where none should exist. Humans could not match aliens in raw power, but they could think, improvise, and turn impossible odds into triumph. One by one, she guided the survivors to safety, her calm determination a beacon of hope. Then the ship shuddered violently. The distress signal was a trap. The derelict systems reactivated, and a massive alien warship decloaked in orbit above the asteroid cluster. It was unlike anything she had seen, bristling with weapons and ancient tech designed to manipulate gravity itself. Illyra understood immediately. The universe was testing her again, pushing humanity to prove its mettle. She rallied the survivors, their fear tempered by her unwavering confidence. "Listen to me," she said. "We are human. We do not flee. We do not surrender. We survive, and we overcome." The crystal pulsed violently in response, resonating with her conviction. The warship opened fire, tearing at the asteroid cluster with gravitational beams. Rocks shifted, molten debris flew, yet Illyra's mind raced, calculating trajectories, shield vectors, and energy flow. The crystal responded to her thoughts, bending space around the ship, creating corridors and pockets of stability. They dodged the warship's attacks, weaving through asteroid canyons like dancers choreographed by human ingenuity. Illyra devised a bold plan, an improvisation no alien could anticipate. She led the survivors through a narrow canyon, where the warship's massive form could not follow. Using the crystal, she amplified the ship's engines, creating a controlled spatial distortion that hurled the alien vessel into the void, disorienting it and buying humanity precious time. The survivors stared in awe, their fear replaced by respect and wonder. Humans could survive, adapt, and triumph where others failed. But the universe was far from done. The crystal pulsed again, sending visions into Illyra's mind, worlds in peril, civilizations under threat, ancient powers awakening. And she understood the true purpose of the dragon's gift. It was not merely to survive one encounter or defeat one enemy. It was to awaken humanity to its potential, to teach them that courage, intelligence, and heart could defy even the oldest, most powerful forces in existence. Illyra's resolve hardened. The survivors followed her, their faith in humanity renewed. Together, they navigated the asteroid field, each step a testament to human adaptability. And in the distance, the golden glow of the dragon appeared once more, watching, approving, and guiding. Illyra whispered into the void, a promise to all that would follow. "We are human. We will not only endure. We will rise, we will adapt, and we will shape the universe with our courage and our intellect." The crystal pulsed in harmony with her heart, and she knew the galaxy had just witnessed the beginning of humanity's true legacy. But deeper dangers lurked. Challenges older than stars, adversaries who would not accept humanity's rise without a test of unimaginable proportions. Illyra clenched her fists around the crystal, a fierce grin on her face. Let the universe come. Humans were ready. Humans would endure. Humans would triumph. And somewhere deep in the void, the golden dragon's final gift shimmered, a promise that humanity's story was only just beginning. The survivors clustered around Illyra, their eyes wide with awe and fatigue. The golden crystal pulsed softly, its warmth seeping into her bones. Yet her mind raced with the possibilities it held. The universe was speaking to her. Threats, challenges, and wonders that spanned galaxies, all interwoven with the dragon's final gift. Illyra turned the ship toward the new coordinates the crystal suggested, a point deep in uncharted space, far beyond human charts, where stars burned strange colors and gravity bent in impossible curves. The asteroid field behind them shimmered in the alien warship's retreat, yet she knew it was only temporary. The galaxy had eyes, and some of them were patient, relentless, and ancient. Her hand rested on the crystal, feeling its pulse synchronize with her heartbeat. The ship slipped into faster-than-light travel, stars stretching into brilliant streaks of light as they crossed the void. Even in the silence of hyperspace, she felt the universe watching. The crystal whispered possibilities, hints of cosmic truths that humans had never imagined. It spoke of civilizations older than galaxies, of powers that could reshape reality itself, and of guardians who tested every species that rose to prominence. Ilara knew then why the dragon had chosen humanity. Not because humans were the strongest, not because humans were the fastest, because humans could adapt, improvise, and endure the impossible where others would crumble. Her thoughts were interrupted by a sudden jolt. The ship shuddered violently, alarm screaming. The crystal pulsed wildly, almost frantic. Sensors revealed a tear in the fabric of space ahead, a rift, darker than void itself, swirling with energy that defied comprehension. She felt it before she saw it, a presence, ancient and aware, probing her mind, testing her, assessing humanity. The survivors panicked, voices raised in fear, yet Ilara stood firm. Humans thrive where others feared. She activated the crystal, letting its golden light envelop the bridge, shielding them from the rift's probing influence. The void around them shimmered, folding and twisting, as if reality itself recoiled at their presence. Then from the rift emerged shapes, colossal beings, incomprehensible in form, eyes like supernovae, energy rippling from their very existence. They spoke without words, thoughts cascading directly into her mind, challenging her resolve, questioning her species' worthiness. Ilara's pulse raced, yet her determination hardened. Humans had never yielded to fear. She raised her voice, firm and unwavering. We are human. We endure. We adapt. We rise. The crystal responded, flaring brightly, weaving a golden resonance that deflected the probing energy of the entities. The beings paused as if surprised. They had encountered many species across millennia, yet none had met their judgment with such clarity, such audacity, such unshakable courage. Ilara's mind raced, analyzing their patterns, deciphering intent, using every ounce of human ingenuity. With the crystal as her conduit, she bent the ship's energy fields, creating barriers and pathways invisible to the colossal entities. She maneuvered through the rift with precision, each movement deliberate, exploiting openings that no other species could anticipate. The survivors followed, their fear tempered by trust in her leadership and the crystal's guidance. Then, the entities struck, massive waves of energy crashing against the ship. Ilara channeled the crystal's energy into the hull, amplifying the vessel systems beyond design limits. The ship shuddered but held, resisting forces older than time itself. Humans had never relied on raw strength alone. They relied on intelligence, creativity, and unbreakable resolve. The entities hesitated. They had not anticipated such resilience, such audacity, such brilliance. Ilara seized the opportunity. She projected the crystal's energy into the rift, bending space and energy around the ship, creating a cascade of golden light that disrupted the entity's focus. They roared in frustration, their forms shimmering and distorting, yet they did not retreat. This was a test, and Ilara understood the stakes. She had to prove that humans were worthy, not just survivors, but champions of ingenuity and courage. She pressed forward, navigating the twisting corridors of energy with precision, guided by the crystal's pulse and her unyielding determination. The ship emerged from the rift battered but intact, into a sector of space unlike any charted before. Stars shimmered in colors she had never seen, nebulae writhed like living organisms, and planets hovered in impossible orbits. And at the center of the celestial web floated a colossal structure, older than humanity, radiating power that bent reality itself. Ilara's breath caught. It was a relic of a civilization that had mastered the forces of creation, guardians of knowledge and power that spanned galaxies. She realized the truth. The dragon's gift had led her here, to this crucible of cosmic judgment. The crystal pulsed violently, urging her forward. She rallied the survivors, their fear transformed into awe and determination. Humans had survived worse. Humans had overcome impossible odds. Humans would not fail now. They docked with the colossal structure, its surface shimmering with energy that resonated with the crystal. The airlock opened to reveal corridors that twisted space itself, stairways looping impossibly, walls pulsing with alien energy. The beings from the rift appeared within, massive, incomprehensible, yet their attention was focused entirely on Alara. She raised the crystal high, letting its golden glow illuminate the alien corridors. "We are human," she declared, voice unwavering. "We endure. We adapt. We rise. And we will meet any challenge the universe places before us." The entities paused, as if acknowledging the truth in her words. The crystal pulsed brighter than ever, projecting a wave of energy that stabilized the corridors and banished the residual probing presence. Ilara's heart swelled with a fierce, unyielding pride. Humanity had proven itself once again, not through domination, but through courage, intelligence, and audacity. And somewhere deep within the colossal structure, a chamber opened, a vault of knowledge, power, and cosmic insight. The crystal guided her inside. She realized then that this was only the beginning. The dragon's final gift was not just a key to survival. It was a beacon, a catalyst, and a challenge to all of humanity. Ilara stepped into the chamber, the golden light bathing her and the survivors. They had crossed thresholds no human had ever dared approach, and they had done so with courage, intelligence, and an unbreakable human spirit. The universe was vast, filled with dangers, alien powers, and ancient secrets. Yet humanity had proven it could face the impossible and emerge victorious. Ilara held the crystal high, feeling its pulse merge with hers, a promise of challenges yet to come. "We are human," she whispered into the void, "and we will not merely survive. We will thrive. We will shape the cosmos with our courage, our intellect, and our unyielding spirit." The golden dragon's presence shimmered faintly around her, approving, guiding, and reminding her that the legacy of humanity had only just begun. The chamber hummed, alive with energy, as if recognizing that humanity had arrived, not as prey, not as interlopers, but as worthy, audacious, and unstoppable. Ilara knew this was only the first of many trials, and she smiled, fierce and unyielding, ready to face whatever the universe would throw at her. For humans endured, humans adapted, humans triumphed, and somewhere in the endless expanse, the legacy of the Golden Dragon and her final gift would echo across the stars for generations to come. The chamber pulsed with golden light, the air thick with energy that seemed to hum in resonance with Alara's heartbeat. She felt the weight of history pressing down upon her, the knowledge of civilizations older than stars, and the presence of the Golden Dragon that had entrusted her species with its final gift. Every step she took echoed across the metallic floor, a sound amplified by the impossibly vast, curved corridors that twisted and shimmered as the space itself bent in acknowledgement of her presence. The survivors followed closely, their eyes wide with awe, their breaths shallow as they took in the enormity of the chamber. Humans had never stood in a place like this, a relic older than any human record, untouched by time yet alive with the pulse of cosmic energy. The crystal in Alara's hand pulsed stronger, golden light spilling across the room, illuminating patterns etched into the walls, runes, symbols, maps of stars, and constellations that predated known galaxies. She felt the energy surge into her, into the ship, into the very air around them, a living connection to the universe itself. This was no ordinary gift. This was a bridge, a covenant, a challenge to all humanity. To rise beyond what was thought possible, to embrace intellect, courage, and adaptability as their greatest weapons in a universe that did not yield easily. Ilara took a deep breath, inhaling the subtle scent of ozone and alien minerals, the faint hum of energy vibrating through her bones, grounding her in both reality and possibility. She stepped closer to the center of the chamber, where a pedestal rose from the floor, etched with the likeness of the Golden Dragon. Its eyes seemed alive, molten with fire and intelligence, gazing upon her, upon humanity, as if measuring the worth of a species that had dared to reach beyond its limits. She laid the crystal upon the pedestal, feeling the pulse intensify as it connected with the ancient energy. A wave of golden light spread to the chamber, filling every corner, reaching into every crevice, resonating with her mind, her heart, and the collective spirit of the humans who had followed her here. The energy spoke, not in words, but in understanding. It showed her visions of the universe, galaxies in motion, civilizations rising and falling, forces older than imagination. It showed her humanity, not as fragile or small, but brilliant, audacious, capable of surviving against odds that would destroy entire species. She saw humans navigating alien politics, unraveling ancient technologies, negotiating with entities whose minds span light years and whose powers bent reality. She saw courage, intellect, adaptability, and heart, the traits that carried humanity across the void. The golden dragon's presence swirled around her in an iridescent haze, a living memory of trust, sacrifice, and guidance. It whispered of future trials, of dangers lurking in the folds of space, of challenges that would test the very essence of humanity. Yet it also whispered of triumph, of a species capable of weaving strategy, empathy, and bravery into an unstoppable force. Ilara closed her eyes, letting the resonance fill her, letting it merge with her own determination, with the audacity that had driven humanity to survive where others had failed. The crystal pulsed once, twice, and then stabilized, embedding a seed of energy and knowledge into the chamber, a gift for all who would come after. The survivors gathered around her, their expressions a mix of relief, awe, and inspiration. They had followed her through impossible odds, through alien predators, collapsing dimensions, warships beyond comprehension, and rifts that tore at reality itself. And they had emerged not just alive, but wiser, stronger, and more united than ever before. Ilara turned to them, her voice steady yet soft, carrying a weight that transcended fear and doubt. "Humanity has been given a gift," she said, "not of power alone, but of responsibility. The universe does not yield to fear, nor to strength alone. It responds to courage, intelligence, and the will to endure." The survivors nodded, their spirits lifted by the certainty in her words. Beyond the chamber, through windows that opened onto the swirling colors of uncharted space, she saw stars burn with a brilliance that spoke of infinite possibility. She realized that the humans had always been underestimated, not for lack of ability, but for lack of recognition of their audacity, creativity, and heart. The golden dragon's final gift had changed that perception. It had given humanity a glimpse of what they could achieve, a key to survive, adapt, and shape the universe in ways no other species could comprehend. Ilara felt the crystal vibrate one last time, a subtle pulse that seemed to say, "Well done." She gathered the survivors, preparing them to return to their ship. Each step back through the twisting corridors was careful, yet purposeful, as if space itself respected their presence, guiding them toward the exit. When they finally reached the ship, she looked back once more. The chamber shimmered faintly, golden light fading into the ambient glow of the cosmos, a silent reminder that humanity had passed the first test of its destiny. The engines hummed to life, the ship vibrating with energy as it lifted off in the alien world, ascending into the stars. Ilara held the crystal tightly, feeling the warmth seep into her, anchoring her resolve, guiding her focus. Outside, the void was vast, dangerous, and full of mysteries beyond imagining. But humans thrived where others failed. Humans endured where others faltered. Humans adapted where others froze. She glanced at the survivors, each face reflecting determination, awe, and the unspoken understanding that their species had been transformed forever. The universe would challenge them again. It would test their courage, their intellect, and their ingenuity. But humanity was ready. They would face the impossible with brains, heart, and unyielding spirit. Ilara guided the ship toward the edge of the system, toward unexplored sectors of space, where alien civilizations, ancient relics, and cosmic phenomena waited. The golden light of the crystal cast a warm glow across the bridge, illuminating faces that had glimpsed the unimaginable and had not turned away. Somewhere far beyond, the golden dragon watched, its presence faint but undeniable, a reminder that trust and courage had forged a new legacy for humanity. Ilara whispered into the void, a vow carried across light years into the currents of space-time. "We are human, and we will endure. We will rise. We will shape the stars with our courage, our intelligence, and our heart." The survivors echoed her sentiment, their voices carrying through the ship, reverberating with a newfound confidence. Even the void seemed to respond, distant stars pulsing as if in recognition, cosmic winds bending subtly as if acknowledging humanity's audacity. Illyra felt a surge of pride, tempered by the knowledge that the journey was only beginning. The dragon's gift had not ended. It had awakened humanity to its potential, and now it was their task to rise to the challenges the universe would place before them. As the ship accelerated into uncharted space, Illyra allowed herself a brief moment to reflect. Humans had survived impossible odds, faced alien fleets, navigated collapsing dimensions, and now had unlocked the key to the universe itself. And yet, the true measure of humanity was not in survival alone. It was in ingenuity, in courage, in compassion, and in the audacity to reach beyond what was thought possible. The crystal pulsed softly, its golden light a promise, a guide, and a reminder that humans were not merely observers of the cosmos. They were participants, challengers, and creators. Illyra smiled a fierce, determined expression as she looked out into the endless expanse. Stars stretched infinitely, nebulae writhed like living organisms, and new worlds awaited discovery. The survivors watched her, understanding without words that they were now bearers of legacy, champions of a species that had proven its worth in the eyes of forces older than time. And in that quiet, sacred moment, Illyra felt the presence of the golden dragon one final time. It was not a voice nor a form, but a resonance, a living memory of trust, sacrifice, and hope. The dragon had given its final gift, and humanity had accepted it, not as a burden, but as a responsibility, a challenge, and a promise. The ship soared to the stars, guided by instinct, courage, and the golden light of the crystal. Illyra knew that the universe was vast, full of dangers, ancient powers, and unimaginable challenges. Yet humanity had proven that it was ready. Humans endured. Humans adapted. Humans triumphed. And somewhere deep in the void, the legacy of the golden dragon and its final gift would echo across the cosmos, a beacon for generations to come. Illyra tightened her grip on the crystal, feeling its warmth, its pulse, its promise. The stars stretched endlessly ahead, each one a question, a challenge, a possibility. And she whispered, not just for herself, but for all of humanity, "We are human, and we will rise." The ship's engines roared, carrying them forward, a single vessel blazing to the void, a testament to courage, intelligence, and the unbreakable human spirit. And in the silence of space, where time and distance folded like ribbons of light, the universe itself seemed to pause and take notice. Humanity had arrived, and it would not be ignored. The golden crystal pulsed one final time, a heartbeat in the endless void, marking the dawn of a new era. Illyra and the survivors looked out at the stars, hearts full of wonder, minds sharp with understanding, spirits fierce with determination. The universe was infinite, so was humanity's potential. And as the ship accelerated into the unknown, Illyra knew one truth above all else. The story of humans, of courage, intelligence, and audacity, was only just beginning, and the stars would never forget.